Hi everybody, Allison Gardner here, and I want to share with you guys today a story and a lesson learned. And the lesson learned is that when life feels very heavy and it feels very just kind of pouring on top of us, it can be very easy to then keep attracting more negativity to us and drawing in more things, because we kind of feel like, well, if we already feel rotten, then the other shoe's going to drop and it's just going to keep getting more rotten, and more things are going to come up and more hard times are going to come. And so there's this cliche that says misery loves company, and I want to change it a little bit to what I've said back here, which is miserable thoughts love company. And I think that's because when we're feeling in a lower state, when we're feeling overwhelmed or when we're feeling frustrated, we ourselves actually vibrate at a lower level. So the state at which all of our atoms are vibrating, that is what makes us alive. That's what makes matter living. They vibrate at a lower rate, and so we then feel lower. And so because different emotions have different frequencies and different levels of vibration, then we are drawing things to us at those different levels and at those different vibrations. And so if we're feeling frustrated, if we're feeling angry, if we're feeling negative, then we tend to attract a lot more negativity, a lot more frustration, a lot more sadness. And these past few weeks, I have been really having a hard time. If you've seen my last week's video, you'll kind of know that things have been hard and heavy for me and just where I'm at and what's going on. And this last week, something else came up. And I still remember when we'd only been married like 4 weeks. And my husband came home one day and said that, well, he'd had a rough day and it was nighttime. We were getting ready for bed, and he just came over and he looked at me and he said, "Allison, I don't think that I will live very long. I don't think we're going to grow old together." Okay, we'd been married for 4 weeks, and so my brain was like, what in the world is going on? What's happening? Like, what do I do with this? And I didn't know what to do with it, because 4 weeks. And I was like, maybe he wants like to get a divorce, maybe he wants like out, maybe this is overwhelming. And it wasn't any of those things. He just honestly felt like he wouldn't live very long. And in the midst of this last night, within the midst of this last week, when we're both sick, work is still weird and still up in the air, and I'm just feeling weird about all the different things that are happening. We had another night like that again, where he just was having a hard time, and he came to me and said, "Allison, I don't know how long I'm going to live." And I can chalk that up to anxiety, I can chalk that up to a deception, I can chalk that up to his depression, whatever it was. And it has nothing to do with suicide at all. It's just this fear that he has that there's heart attacks in his family, and a myriad of other things. And so there are times when he really feels like he's not going to live very long. I still have no idea how in the world to address that. I still have no idea how to answer it, because I love him, but there are no health indications currently of what's going to happen, so there's no point to worry about it. But yet, hearing those words really mess with you. Like, they really mess with you, and it doesn't matter whether you hear them in a suicide connotation or just in a health connotation or just in a life in general situation. You just feel weird and you don't know what to say about it. And so I just kind of like tried to be supportive and tell him that I loved him and that we'd figure it out, and kind of like, let's move on, because delving into this, we've tried that before and it didn't really get us anywhere. So I was like, moving on. And so I just told him I loved him, and then it was time for bed, and we went to bed and we moved on. But the next day I couldn't help but I just kept hearing that phrase ring over and over and over again in my head. And I was just like, what is this? Like, what do I do with this? How do I handle this? I don't know what to do. I just kept trying to set it aside and just put it down and let it not bug me, but it just kept coming back up. And so last night, as I was just pondering on all of the different things that have happened and all the things that are going on, it just hit me that the best way to be okay was to not look for anything else that was going wrong or that could go wrong or things that I was frustrated about. And that's generally what we reach for. And that's generally what I have reached for in the past. And I kind of explained that, like the molecular level reason is if you're feeling these emotions, then you're at a lower state. And so then you're drawing these emotions to you at this lower state. And then they just build until you kind of feel like you're buried under negativity. And it's because in the culture we live in the world we live in, we know that we shouldn't feel bad. Like we're taught we just need to be grateful. We're taught that we need to count our blessings. We're taught that we need perspective and we need an eternal perspective. And so we are surrounded all the time with you need to look for the good. And so when we feel bad, then we feel really weird for feeling bad and we're like, we're awful people. So then we're piling on more of this negativity and we feel weird about feeling bad. And so then we look for more reasons so that it's okay that we feel bad. And we're looking for ways to justify the way we feel and to rationalize the way that we feel. And so as I was in the midst of kind of all of these thoughts, this idea just came into my head that maybe what I'm supposed to be learning right now, learning with work and learning with health and learning with spouse and learning with just these things, this trifecta that's in my life, is that those things are enough that it's okay that it hurts. It's okay that I'm getting sores on my face and there's nothing I can do about it. As you can see, it's okay that I'm burning my fingers and they hurt, and it's okay that I'm just tired all the time. Like any one of these things can hurt, and it's okay. I don't have to look for more reasons that life is painful. I don't have to look for more reasons why I'm not being brave enough or that I'm not being strong enough. And that just really hit me powerfully. And so that's why I wanted to share this idea of miserable thoughts love company is, and I don't know if this will make sense, but I hope that it will make sense. And it's this idea that if something hurts you, it's okay that it hurts and to just leave it there. It's okay to accept that it's not right. It's not what you hoped. It's not what you expected. And it's okay to just leave it there. You don't have to pile anything else on. You don't have to try and shrug it off and pretend it doesn't hurt. It's a random example. I was cooking lunch for myself the other day in a rather hot oven, and my finger missed the hot pad and hit right on the rack, and I did a number on my finger. And that day, it was one of those things that was on top of everything else, and I was just like, oh, my finger hurts. And so then I was tempted to be like, and then this is going on, and then this is going on, and then this is going on. The universe must hate me. When I realized that it has nothing to do with the universe hating me. It's just how well do I hold my space? How well do I go, okay, this hurts. That's fair that hurts. Okay, this thing over here hurts. Okay, I'm gonna accept that hurts. This thing over here hurts. Yep, that hurts too. And yep, burnt finger. And to just let all of the different pieces be whatever the pieces were and not reach to try and make them this big, ugly ball of nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I'm gonna go eat worms. Because that's where the adversary wants you to get to. He wants you to look at X and Y and Z and think that all of those things must mean that life is horrible. Really, it's just X and Y and Z. And the sooner that we just realize that we're feeling and accepting that they're there, then we can let them go. And can I just tell you guys that once I realized that this was a learning opportunity, like so much of the weight was gone. Once I realized that I didn't have to take all of these different things happening as a sign that life was awful, and instead I just went, okay, these are all teaching me how to hold space and not look for worse stuff, freed me. So if you are in a place where you just feel like weird stuff is happening, weird stuff in your marriage, weird stuff with your kids, weird stuff with your dog, weird stuff with work, like if things just feel like they're piling up, I would challenge you to remember the phrase miserable thoughts love company and just think about how you can stop them from eating you alive. back to my point though. So I would just encourage you, if things are getting heavy, if things are getting weird, think about in what ways you can hold space for yourself to accept things as they are and to let things be whatever they are, but not go looking for more. Because there is so much freedom when we let go of the crowd, when we let go of the company of our thoughts, and we just accept what is and embrace what will be and love ourselves no matter what. Because when we do those things, we are lighter and we feel freer. There's so much power in knowing that we are not alone. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.